Hi everyone, Pastor Andy Gathman, and I'm here today to talk to you about scripture journaling using the SOAP method. We do scripture journaling in part because it's a way of enabling us to focus on a particular passage of scripture and to listen to see how God might be speaking to us today. It enables us to record what we hear and what we learn and apply it to our lives. So before we get into the method specifically, I wanted to let you know what you'll need. One of those things is the scriptures, and of course there are plenty of ways to access the Bible online, but I like a paper copy because it enables me to put the technology away for a few minutes, and that helps me to listen for God's voice while I'm reading scripture. And of course you'll want a journal. Again, you can use digital notes, but I like the paper copy because it puts the technology away, and if you use a paper copy, of course, you'll need a pen. In addition to that, I would just say a little bit of time, maybe 10 or 15 minutes that you can carve out to reflect. And then ideally a space that encourages that reflection. Maybe it's a chair in a quiet corner, maybe it's at your desk, maybe outside. But once you have all those things together, you're ready to do scripture journaling using the SOAP method. And let's talk about that now. So here I am at my desk, and I've already spent some time reading and reflecting on today's scripture reading, which today's day 2, so it was Proverbs 3, 5 through 8. And now I'm ready to journal. And so I'm going to open my journal. And for those of you who have this journal that we've been working on together, there's a quick and handy reminder of what the SOAP method is. And so we're just going to journal it out. I'm going to write today's date, which is October 1st. Happy October, everyone. And I'm going to start just by writing today's scripture passage. It's Proverbs 3, verses 5 through 8. And now I'm going to write the one verse of scripture that stood out to me. It may not even be a full verse, maybe just a part of a verse. And today, for me, when I was reading, what stood out to me was the passage, lean not on your own understanding. And that was verse 5. So that's the first step, to pick the passage of scripture, the one verse of scripture that stood out to you. The second step would be to make an observation about that scripture. And when I was reflecting on it, what I realized is that when you lean on something, you are relying on it to hold you up. And we're not supposed to rely on our own understanding alone. So I'm going to take a moment and write that reflection out right now. Okay, so I've finished writing out that reflection, and now I'm going to move to application. That is, how do I think I want this observation in this passage of scripture to apply to my own life? And again, as I've reflected on it, what I've recognized is that I would like to take more time to reflect on scripture while I'm making decisions, both for my family and in my capacity as a church leader and pastor. So I'm going to write that out. Finally, we want to offer a prayer that emerges out of all of these reflections. And so my prayer today is, God, help me to trust in you more. So that's it. You can see it didn't take very long, but we have had an opportunity to reflect on Scripture and apply it to our lives. I hope you'll take the opportunity to journal through the scriptures as we go along, and that this method will enable you to hear from God in your own life. God bless.